I'd like to welcome everybody to the People's Church of Divine Prophecy today. We could kind of get ready to start the service. I got a wedding I'm supposed to perform later today, so I've got to make this one go on time. Heard of the groom being late, you don't want the pastor to be late.
Bad omens.
I'd like to ask you to silence your cell phones unless you're medical or law enforcement personnel. The restrooms are down the hall. Keep going. Jog around, you'll run right into them. There's cold water in the fridge, hot drinks and snacks on the table. Help yourself to any at all times. No real ceremony here. Just open your mind and have a good time. I'd like to ask Linda to light the 3 candles symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. Be good to light them now.
What a pleasure.
So thank you all for being here today. Please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the first hymn. Join me in an attitude of prayer. Dear Father God, we give thanks for this wonderful time of year, this opportunity worldwide for fellowship of all mankind. May we feel the peace and joy that is there for us. May we promote this peace and joy with our words, thoughts, and actions. May we feel that love from you and share with all. Amen.
Amen. Number 11, Peace Like the River. I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river in my soul. I got love like an ocean, I got love like an ocean, I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got love like an ocean, I got love like an ocean, I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got joy like a fountain, I got joy like a fountain, I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got joy like a fountain, I got joy like a fountain, I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river in my soul.
All right, please be seated. Got the amen corner going right off the bat. Next portion of the service is a thought for the day from the pastor. This is where I take something that's come across my mind in the past week and how I practiced the spiritual principle that I am trying to embrace in my life. I call it turning spiritual knowledge into spiritual wisdom. Just for perspective, the difference between wisdom and knowledge is known that a tomato is a fruit, and wisdom is known not to put it in a fruit salad. So we have to take all these spiritual principles and try to practice them in our daily life, because it's easy to practice them in roomfuls of people like this. You know, everybody loves you, everybody's happy. You go out and meet the world head on. That's where it takes. That's where you take the risk. That's where you got to have your faith. That's where it all comes together, is meeting that world head on. So I try to bring through something that I've been through and either managed to or not managed to put it into a spiritual perspective. Hoping you get a little help from that. And this past week, it's been one of gratitude for me, and I know that doesn't sound like much during Christmas, but there's been a lot of major changes in my life. And Christmas was a little different this year at certain times. It was good on all perspectives, but it's amazing how after you do something so long with certain people and then those certain people aren't there, how you have a little bit of melancholy when you remember being there with them and stuff. And I remember something Albert Einstein said. He said, doing something over and over again and expecting different results is a definition of insanity. So we, as human beings, I guess there's a portion of insanity in most of us, and I know I got some in me. So when you realize that, you begin to break that cycle. The way I break that cycle is to enjoy where I'm at and what I'm doing for the spirit of what I'm there and why I'm doing it. I don't let my mind wander to other memories of other things I've done. I be here now. I be here in the moment, and I enjoy what I'm doing with who I'm doing it with, and try to honor and be grateful for that which God's put in my life at that moment. That's how I manage to stay focused, manage to stay happy about what's going on, because I grew up in Florida. I've been here since 1955, so there isn't too many places I can't go that doesn't remind me of something I've done with somebody else. So I have to, high schools, grade schools, everything you ride by, you always remember back. And, so what I'm trying to do is build current memories moving forward, happy memories, be joyous about it. We can always focus our mind on one or the other. It's our choice. We can focus it on that which is happy or that which is difficult. There's that within almost every situation I find myself in, is to be able to focus in on one or the other. And somebody told me one time, what's in your mind is what is. And that sounds like a simple statement. It's very profound, because what's in somebody's mind about you is what they think about you, and what's in your mind about somebody else is what you think about them. It has nothing to do with what they think they're presenting themselves as, or what you think you're presenting yourself as. And you have to kind of get a read off of that. You have to check yourself. You can change your idea of what other people are if you find it to be a little bit in error, but you have a hard time changing their idea of you when it's an error. They have to do that through their own process. So if you run into those situations with people, you have to just let it go. And like I said, I've been around here a long time, and I run into people from, I call it my past life, when I was a pure hedonist and loved to drink and loved to raise hell and just live for the moment. And I got in a lot of trouble, and it was a lot of public trouble. And a lot of people remember me from law enforcement right down to the community. And when they see me, they have a hard time connecting with who I am now, with what I was, because they still remember what I was. They don't have an encounter with who I am now. And the people that know me now, like the congregation here, they would have a very hard time connecting with who I was and what I was if they got a hold of some of the old newspaper articles and read them. Because it definitely got recorded from now till the end of time. So, but that's what I mean, and that's the same way we deal with people on a one-to-one basis. Our children don't think they're the way we perceive them at all. They have a whole different idea of themselves than we have of them. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. And you always kind of encounter that when you start talking to them. I got a 35-year-old son that was with me for a few days, and he brought my granddaughter with him. He's 3 years old. He's a single parent, raising her by himself. And DCF said that when he had a lot of trouble when he finally got his daughter back from him. And it took him so long to get her back because DCF had never seen a man do that. In 30 years of doing that work, they'd never seen a man step up instead of the mother. So they put him through the ringer, and he stayed with it every day, every time, and he's had her back for a year. So there again, there's their perception of something that they're unfamiliar with. They can't see the truth of what's before them. So I guess that's a lot of what I've been going through today, seeing the truth about myself, seeing the truth about others that I can try to embrace. You have the weirdest things happen to you. A friend of mine showed up. We went riding for about 6 hours yesterday, and he was telling me about his relationship. And I said something to him. I said, you know, it sounds to me like you're being moved back where you were, because he left and came back, and things were supposed to be all bright and shiny and new and a new day. And I said, well, you know, just knowing you for 25 years, it sounds like it's kind of moved back to where it was. And he thought about it. He said, I don't know about that. I said, well, I'm just telling you my observations. He shows up on my doorstep this morning on his three-wheeler, and he goes, I got to stop hanging out with psychics. You guys are too smart. So we had a little talk, but again, it's the ability to perceive things differently from a different viewpoint. It's hard to turn it inward on yourself. It's easy to look outward on somebody else, but it's hard to turn that inward on yourself. So a lot of my last 5 or 6 months has been turning that inward and seeing what it is about me that needs to be prepared for the coming time. There's a spiritual you that is growing in the future. There's a you that is developing beyond your perception. And when that you meets you, you have to be prepared to put it into play. Unfortunately, most people cast that new them aside and stay the same, as their mind and instincts want them to be. Stay the same, don't change. We don't need any change. Stay the same. This is nice, you know. So be prepared for the new you. We got a new year coming up. Don't make too many resolutions. Make 1 or 2 that are easy to keep. You know, I'm going to turn right instead of left. Or I'm going to put less sugar in my coffee. Do the simple ones. Make it stick. And then that attitude of change can be built on. Don't go for the brass ring. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm going to quit drinking. I'm going to quit cussing. And that lasts about a week. And then you're doing them all over again. So my suggestion about New Year's resolutions is take the small ones that you can fully accomplish, and then that attitude of change can be built on through the year. So just a little hope there. Thank you all for listening. Next portion of the service is our healing portion. I got Judy and Charlie. Who else is here that's a healer? Linda's a healer. We got Linda. I think 2 ought to be sufficient for now. Let's see if we need more. The way this works is Ashkhen will lead us in a guided meditation. You'll hear a chime through the service, which is like this. That means the chairs become vacant, usually in the back there or in front of one of the healers. So you can enjoy the meditation, and if you want to get a healing, you can hear this, look up and go to the back or go over there. You can have both. We'll start this portion of the service with a prayer for spiritual healing in bold on the back. Please join me reading that if you would like. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help, and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. If you'd like to receive a healing, you can take a seat on the chairs in front of the healers or want some in the back.
Good morning.
Morning.
Let's get ready for the meditation. Let's get into a comfortable position to sit. Feet straight on the floor. Palms up in your lap. Just sit relaxed. Make sure there is no tension on your physical body. There is no stress. Relax your feet, relax your knees, Relax your shoulders. Take in a deep breath, inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Take in another deep breath, and with your exhale, release and let go if there is any tension in your physical body. If you are experiencing any aches or pain in your body, with your exhale, just breathe it out. Let go of the thoughts that are on your mind. Whatever is occupying your mind, worries, concerns. Again, with your breath, just release it, exhale. Bring your awareness to your breath. Become aware of your breath while you breathe in and out. Feel the motion of your breath as you inhale and exhale. And engage with the rhythm of your breath. Follow your breath. That is taking you deeper and deeper within yourself to a very peaceful and quiet space within you, to your inner sanctuary that feels calm, quiet, and soothing. Connect with this peaceful presence. And while you breathe, repeat to yourself quietly, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. With each inhale and exhale, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. Feel the peaceful sensations flowing along with your breath throughout your entire body, flourishing, nurturing. Feel the motion of your peaceful breath. Embrace this peaceful state of your consciousness. You are meant to be at peace always. Embrace this peaceful aspect of your consciousness and be still. Just be still. within. Breathe in and breathe out, and embrace this peaceful aspect of your being. In the silence and the quietness, feel your awareness reflecting back as you reflect. You remember some of the challenges, the conflicts, the interruptions that you encountered this year. Approach these events with your peaceful mind. As you approach them, you acknowledge the truth for all the events, the interruptions, the conflicts, the challenges that you were confronted with served your highest good, served a greater purpose for you, and contributed to your growth. As you remember the relationships, the friendships, the people that came in and walked out of your life, presented great lessons for your growth and understanding. As you acknowledge the importance of these events, you bless them. You bless those opportunities that enabled you to become aware of who you are now. It introduced new awareness, a shift in your consciousness with new perception. Bless those opportunities and all those who walked in and out of your life. And let them go. Detach and let it go. Detach with love and understanding. As you release and let go, feel the relief and the inner freedom. And you shift your focus higher. See yourself standing above and welcoming the new year. Envision the numbers 2016 that is surrounded with brilliant light. And feel the energies and the divine abundance that is pouring onto you at this time. That is beneficial to your bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. As you embrace these new energies that are coming in, to feel the shift in your consciousness. feel the new awareness as you are open to receive the new you, the new insights, new creativity, and new desires to accomplish, new goals to achieve, and new people coming into your life. See yourself with open arms, receiving those divine opportunities that are presenting to you for a new experience, a greater experience, to enable you to live your divine purpose, the purpose that you chose to come back and fulfill. See yourself surrounded with these beautiful golden energies. Tap into the vastness of your spirit and discover your hidden potentials coming to light, to a fruition, to a new beginnings, new levels of understanding, a new level of perceiving, accepting. Become aware of the infinite knowledge and the wisdom that is within your soul and spirit. Become aware of the infinite creativity that is within your soul and spirit. And know that you have the power to create your realities. Unleash that power that is deep within you, that has the ability to manifest and materialize your thoughts, your intentions that serves your highest good and the highest good of all. See yourself in action, creating a new vision, a new reality with your dreams, with your intentions. And as you create this reality in the ethers, see those realities manifesting right here in your physical reality. Focus on the one important subject that you would like to see it manifest. See yourself achieving that, accomplishing that. See yourself in action, manifesting. Embrace yourself, the new you. Embrace your divinity and the divine gifts that is within you, that is capable of changing, transforming situations, conflicts. Expand your vision to the entire world. Envision Mother Earth and humanity around the world joining hands and singing the song, the universal song of We Are One. Intent for peace, intent for love, intent for harmony to prevail on earth and within the consciousness of each human. Create your vision for world peace, for universal love, understanding, and compassion to be within each soul and spirit, to awaken within each consciousness in unity, love, peace, and harmony. Breathe your peaceful breath and spread your vision for the new world. Bright light. Allow Mother Earth to live her golden ages again. Let this vision integrate deep into your consciousness and see it manifesting and materializing. Just follow your breath, your peaceful breath that is bringing you back. Engage with your physical senses. Integrate those vibrations wherever you are. Become aware of your feet, your hands. Come back to the here and now. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Please stand for the next hymn.
Sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Sing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Looked over Jordan and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. If you get there before I do, coming for to carry me home. Tell all my friends I'm coming too, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home.
All right. Lori, please have a seat. Next portion is the inspirational lecture. Today we have Sheldon for his first time here, isn't it? Speaking here. Dr. Sheldon Ganberg is an ordained unity minister. Sheldon is a Florida licensed acupuncturist, earned his PhD in spiritual psychology. Sheldon is a co-founder along with his wife Deborah, who's sitting right next to him, of Center for Sacred Living and Alternative Healing Ministry. I've known Sheldon for a little over about a year and a half, 2 years, I think. It was kind of funny because the first time I saw him, it wasn't that nice of an introduction. So.
You remember,
They have this candlelight service at at Cassadaga Church every once a year, and him and Deborah were up on the platform. They're trying to MC, and the church is set up with about 30 or 40 people doing readings around the edge of it, and you're sitting there trying to tune in to do a reading, and I keep hearing this. There's an empty seat in the back. There's an empty seat over here. There's an empty seat. Come on, everybody. There's an empty seat here. It sounded like an auction to me. So after about the third or fourth time I was sitting there trying to tune into it, it's already disruptive enough being in a public place like that with all the movement and stuff. I finally walked down there and I said, you have no idea how disruptive that is. And he said, well, I'm just trying to help. That was the first time I saw him and his wife. I was polite. I wasn't upset or anything. But it's a pleasure to have him here today, and I'm sure we're going to enjoy his talk. So please welcome Reverend Sheldon Ganberg. If you don't have one of these, raise your hand and we'll get you one of these. Part of his talk here today.
Talk about being caught in the middle there. Reverend Steve was there saying, you know how disruptive you are? On the other side was the pastor, Janie, saying, come on, you got to call louder, 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 louder. That's when you learn the term surrender. Oh dear. I've been working in the field of traditional Chinese medicine for over 40 years. And during this time, I've grown to appreciate the Daoist philosophy, which really is at the core of TCM. The practical applications of universal and natural law is the essence of TCM, as well as many other spiritual symptoms, as well as New Thought, and as well as spiritualism. From an Oriental medical perspective, we don't separate the body and the mind and the spirit, the heavens and the earth. Here in the West, we have a tendency to divide everything up into its component parts, but from an Oriental perspective, we look at everything as an integrated whole. We're all interconnected, and humanity is especially connected to the cycles of the seasons, of which I'm going to be talking about today. So considering this, my lecture today is entitled Winter, a Time of Going Within. We just moved out of autumn into winter just recently. The time of change and the time of going inside, deep inside. During the winter months, we have an opportunity to explore our inner landscape in preparation for the new beginnings of springtime. When we're in the midst of change, it is a time when our faith is often tested. Change is an inevitable part of our human experience. Our relationships change, the seasons change, and our bodies change. And it's all as one united whole. We can see and feel the change from autumn to winter as we breathe in the cool air, witness the bare trees, and experience less daylight. Autumn is a time of loss, grief, and letting go. It's a natural time to let go of anything that is no longer serving our highest good. So in other words, the seasons are there helping us to let go. Grief and loss and all those energies are a good thing. We're taught to keep a stiff upper lip and hold it inside, but it's really important to just honor the natural order of things. It's a time to prepare for the winter months, spring is, and by tidying up the leaves in the yard, stacking and organizing wood piles if you have a wood stove, and preparing for the hibernation of winter, even in Florida. Florida has a winter too. Especially, you can feel it inside yourself. I feel it inside myself. Winter is a time to go within. It's often a time of reflection, reevaluation, and unknowing. For some of us, this place of not knowing can be very uncomfortable. It can almost feel like being in a void. I've gotten to know that place myself. I must constantly remind myself that it's okay to be in an unknowing place. I didn't get a lot of modeling growing up about that. But it's okay to be in an unknowing place. And so as we move into the winter months, we are often in a time of energetic pause, which enables us to go within, to reflect. Here's a short story as an example. Over the past couple of weeks, I experienced a major disappointment. At first, I felt angry and betrayed, and the anger turned into sadness. I felt misunderstood and discouraged, since there were some untruths that were being spread about me. I guess I can say my ego felt injured. Under normal circumstances, when this sort of thing happens to me, I go into the fight-flight mode. The old soldier comes out. I can be quite a willful person when I feel like I've been wronged. As an acupuncture physician and a unity minister, I knew we were approaching the season winter, a time of energetic pause. So I said, uh-oh. It was a time to go within, to explore my inner landscape. And so I took the time to take my emotional, mental, and spiritual inventory. I do that especially in the wintertime. I went into meditation and asked my guidance from my spiritual resources. I like calling my guides my spiritual resources because they're always there. I never know what they're going to look like and what they're going to say or do. It became quite clear that it would not be in my highest good to go into action mode and fight the system, which is what I usually like to do. I have to admit that in the past, I probably would have pursued the matter with full force and put up a good fight. But I chose not to this time. I asked my higher self, do I have the faith to go with the flow of the natural order of things, or am I going to use my will to resist? And we have a choice. We can either go with flow or we can go against the flow. I've done both. With flow is a little bit easier, although the ego doesn't think so. Acceptance is a difficult thing, especially for a strong-willed person such as myself. My biggest lesson right now is to trust and have faith that if I let go, I trust in the natural order of things, Spirit will provide, and I'll be okay. And so my mantra for now is I let go and trust in the wisdom of Divine Spirit. I don't know how many times I say that to myself each day, but I have to remind myself because I forget. That human part of myself tends to take off and go rampant. So I have to just remind myself over and over and over again. Let go, turn it over to Divine Spirit. I can't do it myself. From a Daoist perspective, winter is a time to let go. It is a time when the seed is buried deep in the earth. But don't be fooled by the stillness and the inactivity of winter. Although the energy is quiet, it's a very powerful time of the year. Winter is a time when the seed gathers nutrients and minerals by the underground water springs. Mother Earth assures the seed of sustenance that it needs to thrive in the springtime. This acquired strength is needed to nurture the potential of the vast growth of springtime. Growth for the sake of growth is doomed for failure without the reserves that have been accumulated and stored up during the winter months. With the accumulated strength that has been gained in winter, our aspirations, motivations, and potential is heightened, and so is our innate purpose. Our potential will be mobilized, and clarity and vision will be manifest after the winter thaw. Winter is a time when our faith is tested. Do we trust that there's a light beyond the darkness? Do we have faith that there is something great that will emerge out of this time of being in the void, of not knowing, the time of pause? Remember, the following season is spring. It is a time of new beginnings, a time of manifestation. We may tend to think that a new beginning is manifested in spring as an external change that starts in springtime, but it actually begins as an internal experience during the winter. That's when the seed is collecting all the nutrients. The seed within us as well. It may be experienced as a subtle inner shift, a new sense of readiness, an inner awakening. Just feel a glimmer of it at times. One of the best ways to prepare for a new beginning is to discover, or shall I say, remember our soul's deepest desires. Because I really believe that each and every one of us knows exactly what it is that we need for ourselves. We may not be in touch with it, but it's always there. The truth and the wisdom that is all within us. A person gives you a book, you read a book and you see a spiritual truth in that book, and you say, yes, that's it. Well, how do we know, yes, that's it, unless there's a part of us that already knows it to be true? It's all there. We come chock full of all the wisdom that ever was in the universe. But winter is a good time for going on this inner journey, for remembering ourselves. New beginnings that are sustaining our expressions, led by desire, but really led by spirit. As we are interconnected with nature and the cycles of growth and decay, we are in partnership with the divine. We're co-creators with the divine. We are part of the whole creative order. That's who we are. That's why we're here on this earth, to co-create. The abundance of the universe will fill the void only after we have committed to our inner work. Because it's our inner stuff, our shadow stuff, the stuff that doesn't smell so good, is what's keeping us from that clear connection with spirit. It's already there, but it's our stuff that keeps us in the way. So when we are internally ready, we will find a way to create and put into form our dreams and desires led by spirit. This is when the internal energies merge with the external. There is a fascinating synchronicity between our inner and outer worlds. New beginnings often occur in unexpected ways. But one thing for sure, when the new beginning has occurred, the doors will open and all the abundance of the universe will be at our doorstep, just like in the meditation. I have another story to share. In March of 2011, I pioneered a Unity Church in Portland, Maine. Very similar to the People's Church of Divine Prophecy. Beautiful group, energetic group, loving group like all you guys. That's why I feel at home here. We rented a beautiful old church with high ceilings, stained glass windows, and the acoustics were incredible in there. And we used to have music from different cultures, guest musicians. It was breathtaking being there. We grew from 5 people to over 40 people in a very short amount of time. It was extremely exciting, and I felt I was finally living my dream. Unexpectedly, 9 months later, we received notice that the church was going to be sold. And we had to be out of the building in 2 weeks. A team of us took action and searched for the right and perfect building to rent. 3 months went by to no avail. Shortly after, Deb became ill. And I knew in my heart that the universe was moving us in a different direction. I went through the dark night of the soul, and tears still come up for me around that. And I felt like I was in a void. I was pissed off at God. I was sad and angry that my dream was shattered. But it was time to let go. Deb and I both felt that it was time to leave Maine and move to Florida. Not knowing what we were going to do once we landed. We had no understanding of we had no idea what we were going to be doing here. We landed in Port St. Lucie, bought a manufactured home near our friend Linda over here, and we tried to make a go of it there. Unfortunately, that didn't feel right either. We felt like we were in a spiritual wasteland with no spiritual community. Now the good news was that Linda introduced us to Casadega. And Deb and I both felt we found our spiritual home. We sold our home despite all odds, because they said there's no way you're going to sell your home so quickly. It sold like that. And in a short amount of time, we bought a new home. Perfect place for us. Within walking distance, Casadega. The doors to the universe opened up widely, and Deb and I became students of mediumship at Casadega. Indeed, new beginnings often occur in unexpected ways if we're able to let go and listen to what the universe is trying to say to us. When we let go and have faith, all the abundance of the universe is at our doorstep, if we're aligned to our purpose. And so let us begin to reflect upon our deepest desires of the new year that will emerge after this time of pause. Let us plant our seed thoughts and intentions to be nourished during the stillness of winter. It's the perfect time for it. Let us move forward in faith, trusting that the universe and our spiritual resources are working for us and not against us. And sometimes that's really hard to really trust that. If we trust, our connection with our inner guidance will deepen, and the coming years will emerge into something absolutely amazing. And so I would like to offer you some questions to contemplate this winter. And you have some of the questions you can ask yourself in meditation at home. How does it feel when you are in a time of pause or unknown place? How does it feel? Because we can only go by our feelings. What is your personal definition of faith? Many people will tell you what faith is. You'll read lots about what faith is. But it's really important that you come up with your own perception, your own definition of what faith is for you, because you're the only one who knows. And when you need it, it's important to own it. Has there ever been a time in your life when your faith was tested? Certainly has for me. Have you ever taken a leap of faith? And what was the outcome? Is there anything or someone in your life that is difficult to let go of, even when it or they are not in your highest good? That's a rough one. What seeds are called to plant this winter? What seeds are you called to plant this winter? What inner work are you called to do at this time? In closing, I would like to leave you with some thoughts. If we're willing to take the risks by trusting our inner knowing, doors that we thought may have been closed may open before us. We are not here to live safe, ordered lives, but to expand in consciousness, open our hearts, and express authentic compassion. The spiritual journey is never about what happens to us. The spiritual journey is about how much love, presence, and fire we bring to our lives, no matter what the situation, no matter what. Over time, I have come to understand that moving through my greatest fears, especially fear of the unknown, is usually the very thing that helps me find my courage, strength, love, compassion, and faith. May you all have a prosperous new year and a year of growth and inner peace.
And you as well.
God bless you.